Hey there, it's Alan again at the Maywood Library. Whoops, let me do this first. You may not want to see my face, but I'm going to show you today what you can do with those empty prescription bottles that you have at home. I know we all just toss them in recycling, hopefully, but there's a lot of things that you could use them for that might make your life a little bit easier while you're home. So, we'll get started. Well, if you're like me, and you use Q-tips from a box that looks something like this, when I take them out, I usually do something like drop them on the ground. Well, we can get around that. You can then just take out those Q-tips that you haven't put on the floor and put them into a nice jar like this. It has a cap. Use the cap, close it up, and store them, just like the picture on my left shows. Another good idea for using the empty prescription bottles is as a travel first aid kit. As a responder here in Emerson, I do have a full first aid kit in my car, but in my son's car, I have put some travel first aid kits, and these can be used with the prescription bottle. You can put anything in you want. I usually put in something like some Advil or ibuprofen. I have Band-Aids, of course, varied sizes, big, little. I make sure that there are some antibiotic ointment. I like to put in 1 or 2 alcohol wipes. They're good. You're going to want to keep clean before you put on the Band-Aids. I also keep in some gauze. It'll fold over. It'll work nicely. And I also have some tape on there, whether it be paper tape or regular first aid tip, and then you can flesh it out with whatever you want that you use on a regular basis. I would suggest you keep one of these in your glove box. It's really good to use, and if you're like me and tend to cut yourself when you're out, you'll always have something to help with. If you're like me, you're always looking for a pencil, some erasers, some paper clips or push pins. I have them all over the place. But I use now one of my empty prescription jars to store that. And if you look at the picture on your left, you'll also notice I tape a small scissor to the outside. That way I can always find the scissor. I usually don't know where I left it the last time I used it, but by taping it to the outside of the jar, it's always there. What I suggest you might want to put in there is a small stubby little pencil like the kind you get when you play miniature golf. Or maybe you have a small little pen that you got. Put that in there, you'll always have something to write with. And I also like to put in there is smaller than this, but some post-it notes. I fold them over, I put them in there, and then I can use it. I also put stuff like paper clips, rubber bands of varying sizes. You can stuff a lot of those in there. I put some erasers, of course. I do make mistakes. And then I flesh it out with other things that I tend to use from day to day. And I keep it on my desk. And I have it always around. And I don't have to go looking for 2 or 3 different places to find what I need or rush to the dollar store to get some more. You can use, of course, whatever you want. And the bigger prescription case that you have, the better. One thing I have yet to incorporate into my collection, but plan to do that, is a small travel sewing kit. Keep it in the car, keep it in my bag whenever I happen to be traveling. Not great with needle and thread, but I can get by in an emergency. What might be a good idea to put in there are some needles, of course. A couple of straight pins might help too. Sometimes safety pins. I've used those to when a button goes to hold a shirt together until I can sew on a new button. I put buttons on there, of course, and some small pieces of thread. If you ever had a travel sewing kit, you know they come in pieces that aren't too long and that will fit in the bottle. It's a good thing to have on you. You never know when you're going to use it, and it's going to, of course, strike you at the most inopportune time. So if you put this together, which I plan to do, you'll always be ahead of the game. If you're like me, you've probably locked yourself out of your house. I've done it many more times than just one. And I've reached the age where climbing in an open window or forcing open a window is injurious to my health. I'd probably break something as I fall into the house. So what we've done here is we've taken a spare key and we've hidden it someplace in the yard, but first we put it inside an empty prescription bottle. That way we all know where it is, and when we lose our key, we can't find our key, we've left our key someplace else, we can still gain entrance into the house. The most important thing, though, is remember, when you're done using that key, make a duplicate if you need one, but always put it back inside that prescription bottle, hide it where you have it, and if you put it someplace else, remember to tell your family members where it is so they can use it the next time. So that's what I have for you today on using empty prescription bottles for other needs around the house or in the car. I'd love to hear your comments or your ideas. Leave a comment along with a picture if you'd like here on the Facebook page from Maywood Public Library. Or, send me an email with your comments, your ideas. Send it to the link down below, alan.bernstein@maywood.bccls.org. And maybe we can come up with other ideas to work with you. I hope to see you soon. I hope you all stay safe and well. And soon we'll be together, so take care. Bye-bye.